Hi folks, it's Evil here from Thundermist Lure Company. It is great to see you and welcome to today's episode of Thundermist Fishing Tips. We have got an absolute gorgeous day upon us today, folks. The conditions are just prime. We've got a light wind and I just hooked into something small, folks. We got a light wind and we're fishing here at the Niagara River, and so I've got some current pulling me through and we're doing some vertically jigging, folks. And today, what do we got here? Oh, we got a jumbo perch. Well, how do you like that? Isn't that nice? First fish of the day, I just dropped it down. That's a nice perch. So I am running, folks, the Stingnose Peanut Bunker. And what I've done is I brought some eyedrops with me, various colors, but I'm gonna open up with the chartreuse eyedrop. Look at that, that's a nice perch right there, folks. Okay, we're gonna put him in the keep basket. Put a little water in the live well. Totally wasn't ready for that. That didn't take long. So I'm excited, so I'm gonna get my line back down there again. So let's put some water in the live well. So I'm running the silver Stingnose Peanut Bunker, and as you can see, the hook is located right at the head, and that's exactly where that perch attacked. He attacked the head, and that's exactly where the hook is. Strategic placement of the hook. And with the eyedrops, folks, I put the chartreuse on. The reason I went with chartreuse eyedrop is only because the water's a bit murky today. Oh, there's another hit. The water's a bit murky today, folks. So I went with the chartreuse to give it a little more visibility down there, right? So that's why I went with chartreuse, or I might even try the hot pink if the water doesn't clear up any. Okay, there's a little white perch. Okay, that's just a small white perch. How do you like that? We're gonna get him back down there again. Okay, but the technique, because we're fishing a river system, it's just like, this is kind of the end. This is the end of the Niagara River where it goes into Lake Ontario. And because we're fishing a river system, it's kind of like fishing a tidal waters and salt water, because you've got current, so you're always moving. So because of that, I have the option, I could just fish straight up and down and this jig the Stingnose straight up and down, and as I'm doing that I am moving with the current, so you're covering ground and you're jigging in the strike zone. So it's very, very efficient way to fish when you got some drift like I do today. So, and all I'm doing, folks, is just bouncing these off the bottom. If you've never used jigging spoons, you're just bouncing that Stingnose just off the bottom. I'm actually letting it hit bottom, pause for a second, and then lifting it up. And I think I've mentioned many times, if you're fishing structure and you've got a lot of snags on the bottom, then quite simply, don't let your Stingnose or any jigging spoon you're using, don't let it hit the bottom. What you do there is just reel up a bit and then just jig it off the bottom. So maybe 6 to 12 inches off the bottom, avoiding that bottom contact. But today, folks, I'm going to be bouncing it right off the bottom. And I'm already into 2 fish, not big, but that perch was nice. I want to see what else we can get into. We'll see what's out here, so stay tuned, folks. Another solid hit. Doesn't feel too big, but here's the thing, folks. I'm running the 1.5 ounce Stingnose because we've got this strong current. You saw here I'm catching perch, for normally targeting perch or white perch or panfish, crappies. I would use, of course, the smaller Stingnose sizes, 1/4 ounce, 3/8, 1/2 ounce. Oh, that's a good fish right there, folks. Nice white perch. Oh, look at that chunk. That's a chunk. Oh, that is just a chunk right there. Okay. Oh, okay, buddy. Let's get you right back down there again. But that was a lot of fun. He just nailed it. They'll hit on the way down. When you go to lift it up, they don't hit it. But as it's fluttering down, that's when it looks like an injured bait fish. That's when the fish typically hit. So, okay, I'll tell you what, it's a lot of fun. Even with that 1.5 ounce, these fish are not, you've seen the size I'm getting. They're just not intimidated with the size of that lure. But again, I would typically be using smaller baits for these, let's say, smaller fish. But hey, oh, there we go. But it's working right here, right now. Oh, so why not just keep it going? Oh my goodness, folks. The panfish bite is on, and they're loving the Stingnose, and I'm loving it too. And who knows, that eyedrop there, a little extra attractor, you never ever know. But let's see what we got. Oh, another nice chunk, folks. Wow, that's a beauty. You know what, I'm gonna keep this one. I'm gonna keep that one. Okay, he took my eyedrop actually, but I'll keep that one. Put him in the box. I'll grab another eyedrop and we'll get it right back down there again. I'll tell you what, folks, these panfish are biting as hard, and I mean as hard, as any game fish, as a bass or a walleye would bite. They're just hammering these Stingnose. And I've got a braided line, of course, and a fluorocarbon leader. And I'll tell you what, you can feel absolutely everything. But the bites, I love it. They're so aggressive. Look at that white perch. He just nailed that Stingnose. We're gonna keep him. I'm gonna get my jig right back down there again. But it's all about the bite, folks. And don't be fooled by the panfish, perch, crappies. When they're on the bite, you get a nice aggressive hit, and it's great. As soon as you feel that hit, you have to set the hook like right away, instantly. So I'll tell you, this is a lot of fun catching these panfish. Let's get it back down there, and maybe we'll get into another fish or two. But this is unbelievable. I'm loving the hits, folks. I'm loving the hits. Missed them twice. Well, I am using it is a big jigging spoon for these smaller panfish, but boy, they're just nailing it. Really, really aggressive hits. Really, really aggressive hits. Doesn't feel like, feels like I might have a fouled lure, which could be why I missed that fish. No, maybe not. Let's see what we got here, folks. No, we got ourselves another small white perch and a bunch of weeds, which was why it felt a little different, and he took my eyedrop. It's okay though, folks. I do have more. Can you imagine that little fish hitting this big lure? Unbelievable. And you know, I'll tell you what else, folks. I'm using a medium power rod for these panfish because I'm running the 1.5 ounce Stingnose, but if you could get away with even a medium light, you could really have a lot of fun with these panfish. I got myself another nice white perch. He hammered it, folks. But yeah, if you imagine this on a medium light, or a light, even a light rod. But the advantage with the medium light is you still have that nice light sensitivity and light action, but you still have what I'm going to say, a little bit of backbone for setting the hook. And even though they're panfish that we're fishing for today, you still want a little bit of hook setting power. But like I said, I'm running a medium power rod only because the lure is so big. Otherwise, I would just be running a light or medium light action rod and having even more fun, if there's such a thing. You know, he just nailed it. Oh my goodness, folks, I'll tell you what. For those of you who have never fished, it's time to give it a try. I don't know what I like more. I think I like the sensation of the bite, and then setting the hook. I think that's the best sensation I like the most. Just a little one. Whoops. Okay. I think that's what I like the most, more so than even the fight. I like the bite and the hook set. That's my favorite, I think. But I don't know. I guess I like it all. Talk about aggressive, folks. Oh my goodness. Ripped the rod out of my hands aggressive. What a hit. Small fish, big bite. Unbelievable. He just really nailed that bait. Back in I go. Okay, and here's the technique, folks. You know, the technique that I like the absolute most when it comes to jigging is what I call, the jig and pause technique. Did you see what happened there, folks? I jigged it up, I let it fall down, and what happens is the real aggressive fish are going to hammer it on the way down, and that's fair enough. But there are some fish that hesitate a bit or a little more lethargic or whatever the case may be. I like to pause for a second or two just before I re-jig, and it's that pause, folks, that drives those other fish crazy. And I'll tell you right now, the jig and pause approach will trigger, oh look at this, will trigger more hits, just as this one did on this beautiful perch. The jig and pause approach, folks, look at that. That is just a dandy perch right there, and not shy to hit that big lure. But it's what I call the jig and pause approach. What a great way to fish. You know what, folks, if you haven't tried jigging, give it a try. Keep that jig and pause. Just pause for a second or two, reset the hook. You'll have yourself a great day. I'm having a fantastic time out here today, wherever you're tuning in from. Thanks for joining us on today's episode of Thundermist Fishing Tips. And as always, folks, until next time, good luck and good fishing. That's a dandy right there. That's a dandy.